Hello, good morning, everyone. What day is today? December 19, 2025. Okay, amazing because by this time you know the financial health, the pursuit of the whole life, freedom 55, as I dream about when I turn 55 years old, 2008. Let's keep learning together and motivate the future today.
These are some of my core beliefs about money and life in general. Money is a tool to live your best life. Money is also energy. And you can use money as a positive tool with positive energy to live your best life. Or you can use money as a negative tool and it can very negatively affect your life. So my goal is always how to use money as a positive tool to truly live your best life. The number one principle to financial fulfillment: spend money in a way that aligns with your values. What has been different about the way I have always taught money is that I believe it's values first and money second. When you are clear on what is most important to you, what are your values? And today I would, now if I were rewriting my books, I would say, and what are your principles? When you make financial decisions based on your values, based on your principles, your financial decisions will be easier. If you're clear on your values, why you're doing this work, you will follow through. If you're not clear on your values, it becomes very abstract. Like one of the things I always see financial experts talk about is the numbers of how you need to save $1 million for retirement. What? Like such generic, bad advice. Each and every one of you has different values, different drives, different fears, and how much money and different lifestyles. And you live in different areas, and your expenses are different, and your health is different. And all of that gets factored into how much money you need. But I can tell you this, when you show me somebody who's spending money in a way that conflicts with their values, I will show you somebody who will struggle financially for the rest of their life. If you show me somebody who is spending money or investing money in a way that conflicts with their values, and I will show you somebody who doesn't have fulfillment. The fastest way to have fulfillment is to use the money that you work so hard to make to save it and invest in a way that helps you reach what's most important to you, your values and your principles. You will not have financial freedom or achieve financial fulfillment or reach your financial dreams if you don't pay yourself first. You don't pay taxes first. You pay yourself first. You don't pay the bank first. You pay yourself first. You don't pay credit cards first. You pay yourself first. You don't pay leases, mortgage, car payments, on and on and on. The first person who gets paid is you. It is a principle. It is a core way of living your life. Hopefully, if you're doing it, this is the way you'll live your life forever. And if you're not, it's the way you'll live your life starting today. You need to pay yourself first a specific percentage of what you earn. And the second thing is you need to do it automatically. The third, automatically, meaning that you're not going to budget because you don't have time to budget. You won't follow through with budgeting. It takes too long. You don't need a budget today. It's too simple today. Today, with all the financial technology, all the financial service companies all over the world on an app, in minutes, you could be saving money automatically. And just literally, there's no limit to investing today. You can invest $1 a day. It's so simple today to invest in a diversified portfolio, exchange trade mutual funds. You don't need to know what stock to buy. None of this is complicated. You could simply start with an index fund, but you've got to pay yourself first automatically. And the number I recommend has always been 1 hour a day of your income. Now that's for people who work and have jobs and they work from 9 to 5. 1 hour a day of your income comes out to be 12.5% of your gross income. I want you to save 15% of your gross income off the top automatically from here on out for the rest of your life. That's your pay yourself first. Automatically for the rest of your life. And here's the fourth thing that I don't always say when it comes to pay yourself first. You got to pay yourself first automatically, 1 hour a day of your income, and you need to not time the market. It is time in the market. What that means is that stock, because you need to invest in stock market. Your money's got to be a combination of stocks and bonds and real estate. It needs to be diversified. But your money has to out-earn inflation. So you've got to be invested, paying yourself first in, you've got to have money in the stock market. You have to have money in real estate because those are the asset classes that go up where you're on the escalator to building wealth. What you can't do, my friends, and please hear me on this, is you can't time the market. When the markets go down and if you panic and you sell, you will consistently wipe yourself out financially. No one has been able to time the market. I am telling you, professional investors can't time the market. Spend less than you make. Spend less than you make. It doesn't matter what you make. If you spend more than you make, you will always be broke. I have been talking about this for nearly 3 decades. I did everything wrong in the beginning. In my 20s, I would make more money, spend more money, make more money, spend more money. I still have friends from that group today who are in their 50s who would make a lot of money, and every year they're living paycheck to paycheck. You can be broke on any income. You've got to spend less than you make year in, year out. As you go into this year and you make your financial goals, the easiest way to have more fulfillment, less fear, less anxiety, is to spend less than you make. Now, I'm not suggesting that that's easy. I'm just suggesting that is an incredibly simple fact and truth of life. If you are financially stressed right now because you're living paycheck to paycheck and you're spending more money than you make, you know how stressful it is. I'm here to tell you that the fastest way to feel better is to figure out how to reduce your overhead. And that's not always easy unless you're clear on your values and your principles. If you're not already tracking where every single dime goes, my friends, you gotta know where the money's going. You gotta find your money. You should be going into all your credit card statements, assuming you got credit card statements. You should be clicking on the annual report that shows you where you spent every single dollar this year. And you should go through that report with a fine-tooth comb and look at where you spent money and figure out where you don't need to spend money. You should do that with your checking account. You should be looking at your year and annual brokerage account. You need to look at where all your money is. And then in addition, I would be using a tool like a Quicken as an example. Or I would, today I would do it online. I would use something, Mint.com, which is owned by Quicken. I'm saying Quicken, but Mint.com is the largest probably provider of tracking of things online. I would find the service that you can use online. Most banks today are offering it too, where you can really be looking at your expenses. Other things you can do with your credit cards, if you're not already doing this, is you can have your credit cards and your ATM card set up to text you every time you spend money. It is a reminder of, oh my God, I really actually just spent this, because we're losing touch with our spending. I have so many friends who have the watch, the Apple Watch. I'm not wearing mine right now. That wasn't a good example, but they're taking that, you just go click like this, or you take your phone, you pay for something. It's so seamless to spend money now that we don't even realize we're spending money. And you need to spend less than you make, and you need to know where you're spending in order to do that. Again, these are principles. Realize you are already richer than you think. Most of you who are watching me, who are part of Growth Day, are going to earn, over your lifetime, millions of dollars over your lifetime. You're going to work, on average, 90,000 hours. You should write these numbers down. You're going to work 90,000 hours. A person who makes $50,000 a year over their lifetime, just do the math. Over 4 decades, you're earning it's millions of dollars. Most of you are earning more than $50,000 a year. So the question becomes, as you earn this money in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s, in your 60s, are you getting to the point where you're going to have any at the end of this journey? Or are you going to be like the average American who gets into their 50s and is just getting started? Now, if you're here and you're just getting started, the good news is your income level is probably higher than it's ever been, and I'm here to tell you it's not too late. You're richer than you think. You have more money than you realize. again, it goes back to the step before this, principle before, which is where is the money being spent and how can you cut back? And so in this principle, you're richer than you think, comes my famous tip, the latte factor. Because you've got to find your latte factor. And the latte factor, which was my last book, right here, guys, the latte factor, which I swear if you have not read this book, you have got to go read this book or The Automatic Millionaire. This is not a book about giving up your coffee. All right, this is a book about realizing you're richer than you think, you have more power than you know, you're stronger than you believe, and small amounts of money can change your life. $10 a day, which is not even, it's $300 a month. You start investing that in your 20s, by the time you reach retirement, you've got over $2 million saved. Provided you've invested it in an index fund, in a mutual fund, in a balanced fund, that's getting you a decent rate of return. I've talked for years about 10% rates of return of the stock market. And people are like, you can't earn 10% stock market. You know what the stock market's earned now the last 10 years on average? Over 15% annually. You could be in a balanced, boring mutual fund, 60% stock, 40% bonds. Go look at the Vanguard Balance Fund. It's as generic as they come. And that boring fund has averaged nearly 10% annually since inception. I think it was 9.7% the last time I looked. So all of this stuff is doable, but you've got to find what your latte factor is. So again, it's never been about giving up the coffee. It's actually been about consciously realizing where are you spending money now? What could you give up to get up?
Wow. I remember this master class being present, and I bought that book. I have it. I read it. But being able to share with all of you, and especially with you, Kevin, Claire, this is amazing. We came to Canada. I came to Canada at 35 years old and still learning how to help you guys, Canadians born to have a life of freedom, peace, and lots of love.